Shalom, shalom. Before I get started, as always, I want to give all praise to our power, Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Racha HaKodash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, and salutation and blessings to the hopeful elect that is scattered throughout the four winds of the earth that believe wholeheartedly in the true doctrine that is being pushed throughout the four winds of the earth, who are in hope of mercy and salvation during the time of Jacob's trouble, which is fastly approaching, as well as when Yahweh Shai returns to the planet Earth. All right. This will be a response video to a video I was listening to this morning um, while I was out. Apostle Tahar's video, his premiere he did this morning, dealing with vocab and the Christian that rolled up on the Watchman for Israel. Um, and he called himself bringing out Esther, called himself linking Acts 26 to Esther, the 8th chapter, in the 17th verse, which is easy, you know, which is easy, you know what I'm saying? And, these you Christians, you still losing, all right? You still losing because here it is, per usual, you're finna get the true understanding of what this guy said, not just from this video, but the men of Great Millstone are getting ready to go in on this, and furthermore already have. I'm sure his brother's putting up videos as I speak concerning this topic. Um, dealing with the Christian and vocab. You really thought y'all had one off of that? Yeah, you're done. All you naysayers and you unbelievers of the Holy Scriptures, you're getting ready to find out that uh, the Israelites are right. All right, the One West Israelites have the truth. In particular, Great Millstone. All right, and all of the affiliates that follow that doctrine of Great Millstone. You're getting ready to find you're gonna find out that we are right. All right, and he didn't have no one up. He didn't. No, he didn't. That Christian didn't do nothing to prove anything of an Edomite or any heathen for that matter, being able to be a proselyte or be converted. All right, over to our culture, our religion, so to speak. All right, which really in the kingdom, all of you heathen will come up under the rule of the Israelites. All right, but you won't be Israelites. Okay, so that same argument that the dude was trying to make using Esther, the 8th chapter, in the last verse, that same uh, uh, that same thing happened to any nation who's under the authority of a nation. All right, they have to learn their ways and their customs. All right, we had to do it when we came here to Babylon. All right, America. All right, so I'm gonna entitle this uh, Esther 8 and 17 with understanding. All right, because when you read and you understand what was going on, they always talk about we take things out of context and this, that, and the third. No, we don't. We don't take nothing out of context. The Heavenly Father has given us the eye salve. He's given us His secrets. All right. This is why we can go from here to there. All right. Or we can stay right in the same book and show you that you're wrong. All right. And in this case, you're totally wrong. All right. You're totally wrong concerning Esther 8 and 17. Okay? Now we're going to read a little bit just to build up to the actual point. All right, to where you can't make that point in saying um these people were they became Jews also. See, anybody could be a no. That's not what it's talking about. All right, it wasn't talking about they became Jews. They came under the thumb of us, so they had to uh, uh, live according to the way we wanted them to live. All right, because of the decree that came forth from Ahasuerus, or the world know him as Xerxes from the movie 300. All right, so let's read a little bit just to get some of the context. And Lord will, this is edifying to the hopeful elect out there. And you Christians take another L. You anti messiahs, you anti Christ, you anti Christians. That's what you are. All right, with vocab being the ringleader. So here in the book of Esther, chapter 8, verse 1. Now, mind you, this is after Mordecai gave word to his niece Esther, and she got the word back to Xerxes, and Haman was hanged for plotting against the children of Israel. All right, just to give you a little backdrop of what's going on here, and this is the aftermath of it. All right, this is the book of Esther, chapter 8, verse 1. It says, On that day, the king Ahasuerus, or Xerxes from the movie 300, give the house of Haman the Jews. Let me start over. It says, On that day, the king of Ahasuerus give the house of Haman the Jews enemy unto Esther the queen. And Haman was an Edomite. All right. In particular, an Amalekite of the nation of Edom. All right, so he would be a small hatter today. All right. It says, and Mordecai came before the king, for Esther had told what he was unto her, which was her uncle. All right. Of the tribe of Benjamin. All right. So we talking West Indians. All right. Jamaicans. All right. Guyanans. Trinidadians. All right. Those people. Okay. That's who Mordecai was, and that's who his niece was. They were of the tribe of Benjamin. All right. Son of the right. Verse 2, it says, And the king took off his ring, which he had taken from Haman, and gave it unto Mordecai. So there was a promotion of power to the Israelites. And that is that's like a sentiment for the Lord. The Lord has done that for Israelites throughout all of our captivities. All right. Going back to Egypt with Moses. All right. Here in the captivity of damn, why I can't think of these people? The Persians, Salakia. All right. He did it here with Mordecai and Esther. He did it in Babylon with Daniel. All right. And the three holy children. All right. He Zerubbabel. All right. He always has promoted Israel up in ranks among the heathen. All right. Especially when they wanted to do harm to his people. In this case, with Haman. All right. Because there was a decree went out to make a slaughter against us, but it was reversed. All right. So it says, and the king took took off his ring which he had taken from Haman and gave it unto Mordecai. And Esther set Mordecai over the house of Haman. All right. So he became high ranking up in this captivity. All right. And Esther spake yet again before the king, and fell down at his feet, and besought him with tears to put away the mischief of Haman the Agagite, and his device that he had devised against the Jews. All right. Now, Ahasuerus wasn't no Israelite. All right. But this was the Lord working, all right, through Esther to get to the king so that he can pass a decree that we be not slaughtered. All right. It says, then the king held out the golden scepter toward Esther. So Esther arose and stood before the king. Something that these women won't do today. Ain't no woman finna bow to no man in this society. Okay. But anyway, it says, verse 5, and said, if it please the king, and if I have found favor in his sight, and the thing seem right before the king, and I be pleasing in his eyes, let it be written to reverse the letters devised by Haman, the son of Hammedatha, the Agagite, which would be small hatters today, which he wrote to destroy the Jews which are in all the king's provinces. How many provinces were we in? How many provinces were Ahasuerus over? Well, when you go to the first chapter, it tells you he was over 127 provinces. All right, this is why he had that massive army in the movie 300. All right, this is what this was his power. This is why they told Alexander that he was insane for trying to take over the Persians and the Medes, because of how great the kingdom was. 127 provinces is like here in the U.S. The U.S. province, the provinces of the United States is 50 provinces. All right, 50 states, or is it, what is it, 52 states? I can't remember, but a province is like a state. All right, and Ahasuerus was over 127 of them, and we were under their rule. All right, and decrees had went out. All right, for those taskmasters that was over us in these provinces to slaughter us. Okay, as we read. All right, but they were reversed. All right. It says, which he wrote to destroy the Jews which are in all the king's provinces, like I said, which were 127 provinces. All right. So that's equivalent to the legislation that if Trump gets in there, he's gonna pass the 1798 Enemy Alien Act, that in all 50 states they're gonna round up the so-called migrants, all right, and bring bring them into concentration camps, and that's per Executive Order 9066, all right. So that's kind of the same type deal, but here in the ancient world, the decree was to actually go and just straight up slaughter them, destroy them, all right. So this is Esther speaking. She said, for how can I endure to see the evil that shall come unto my people? All right. Or how can I endure to see the destruction of my kindred? All right. Then the king Ahasuerus said unto Esther the queen and to Mordecai the Jew, behold, I have given Esther the house of Haman, and him they have hanged upon the gallows, because he laid his hand upon the Jews. Write ye also for the Jews as it liketh you, in the king's name, and seal it with the king's ring, for the writing which is written in the king's name, and sealed it with the king's ring. May no man reverse. So this is like the president of the U.S. signing an executive order. All right. Okay. It's law now. Okay. Verse 9. Then were the king's scribes called at that time in the third month, that is the month of Sivan, on the 23rd day thereof. And it was written according to all that Mordecai commanded unto the Jews, and to the lieutenants, and the deputies, and rulers of the provinces which are from India unto Ethiopia. So you had Israelites all over, even back then. All right. And 127 provinces, like we talked about earlier, unto every province according to the writing thereof, and unto every people after their language, and to the Jews according to their writing and according to their language. So it was already separation. All right. And he wrote in the king Ahasuerus' name, and sealed it with the king's ring, and sent letters by post on horseback, and riders on mules, camels, and young dromedaries, wherein the king granted the Jews, which were in every city together, to gather themselves together, and to stand for their life, to destroy, to slay, and to cause to perish all the power of the people and the province that would assault them, both with little ones and women, and to take the spoil of them for a prey. All right. This was written in the name of the king Ahasuerus, aka Xerxes, from the movie 300. All right, and sealed with his ring as law to go out to all the people that was in these provinces that he was over, and to the Jews, and everybody knew that we were going to be able to defend ourselves. All right. Verse 12. Upon one day in all the provinces of King Ahasuerus, namely, upon the 13th day of the 12th month, which is the month of Adar, the copy of the writing for a commandment to be given in every province was published unto all people, and that the Jews should be ready against that day to avenge themselves on their enemies. All right. So the posts that rode upon mules and camels went out, being hastened and pressed on by the king's commandment. And the decree was given to Shushan the palace. And Mordecai went out from the presence of the king in royal apparel of blue and white. I know he was decked out, man. I know he was decked out. That's Benjamin. You know Benjamin know how to dress. When Benjamin Salakia, when Benjamin, you know what I'm saying, step out, Benjamin step out. You know what I'm saying? Benjamin be doing the linen. Benjamin be rocking, be having them all white parties. All right. So, you know, when Benjamin step out, Benjamin be right. You know what I'm saying? So Mordecai, you know what I'm saying, he was decked. All right. It says, and Mordecai went out from the presence of the king in royal apparel of blue and white, and with a great crown of gold. All right. And with a garment of fine linen and purple. And the city of Shushan rejoiced and was glad. The Jews had light and gladness and joy and honor. Now this is the verse. Now I wanted to read that just to build it up to what's happening now, or to the verse that this anti-Christian tried to use against the Watchman for Israel. All right. And this is what Naquan was supposed to do. He was supposed to deal. I mean, I didn't watch the whole street speaking. I just watched what Apostle Tahar had in his video. Maybe he you know, I don't know what happened, what transpired, but he didn't go, you know, he didn't break down what was actually happening and why the people of the land became Jews. All right, so with just reading that chapter, them first 16 verses, you get a understanding of why the 17th verse is written. All right, see, you Christians are the devil too. You even though you're Israelites, if you're die-hard Christian, anti-Messiahs, Christians, because that's what you are. You're anti-messiahs, being a part of that religion. All right, you being the devil by trying to use this verse to say that anybody can become a Jew. Okay, well, why did this? Why was this? Why did this occur in these provinces? Well, we just read the first 16 verses to give you the understanding why. All right, and if you read the whole book of Esther, you will get the understanding of what was getting ready to happen to us. All right, so this is why they all became Jews. It's because fear was put on them. All right, because it was etched in stone by Mordecai in the name of the king Ahasuerus and sealed with his ring. And that was all the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai to preserve the life of his people while we were under their captivity, under their rule. And then we got promoted just like that. And that's what's getting ready to happen in this society. All right, because they about to roll on us, but the Lord is going to preserve his elect from being rolled on. All right, and then all of you heathen out there are going to have to convert and come to our ways by way of force, by way of slavery. Okay, because the Lord is going to give us that power to stand against our enemies, just like he gave the power in the decree from Ahasuerus. It's not rocket science. See, you Christians be trying to pull out of everywhere, but you're constantly taking L's. You know what I'm saying? So call halal Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. Verse 17, and in every province, the 127, and in every city, all right, whithersoever the king's commandment and his decree came, the Jews had joy and gladness, a feast and a good day. All right? Like Apostle Tahar said, it was a party. All right? It says, and many of the people of the land became Jews. What do you mean they became Jews? They couldn't become a Jew if they weren't a Jew. What it means is they became they became as the Jews, so to speak. All right? Because we're going to go to the 9th chapter and tell you why they became Jews. All right? It says, for the fear of the Jews fell upon them. So the reason they became Jews, because the fear of the Jews came upon them. They all heard the law came down from King Ahasuerus. Like, we can't. They're going to be able to defend themselves and their wives and their children against us. All right? So we can't they got favor in the eyes of the king. All right? So going to the 9th verse. Let's matter of fact, let's look up that word became. Let's just see. Let's see what that word became. Became Jews. Yahweh the Yam. All right. Is how they had it written. To become a Jew. And it's not, it says Yahad. All right. We're supposed to be Yahwadah, all right, as it is here, because that's the etymon of the word Yahad or Yahada, all right. The real pronunciation is Yahwadah, all right, which of course means Yahweh is praised, or Yahweh is thanked. All right. It says to Judaize, i.e., become Jewish, or to become Jews. It says down here, in the Jacinius Hebrew Chaldee Lexicon, to make oneself a Jew. So they weren't actually born Jews, all right? They just made themselves to be as the Jews because of the favor that was shown to the Jews, all right? To embrace the Jew religion, all right? The letter Yod, which is in the noun, is a servile becomes a radical, and from this again is formed. See more influences. Don't say much more, but meaning they became as the Jews. They embraced how the Jews started to live. All right. Because of what? Because of the decree that came from the king. All right. And it has it here. Many of the people of the land were becoming Jews. It was the favor that was shown. All right. They weren't actually Jews. All right. They didn't actually have the lineage that goes back to the sons of Jacob. No. They became and embraced the Israelites, okay, because of the favor that was shown. All right. Let's go back and we're gonna jump right into the 9th chapter. All right, because it continues. Okay. We're just gonna read the first 2 verses. Matter of fact, we're gonna read the first. We'll read the first 5 verses so you can get the understanding of why they became Jews. All right, a little more understanding of it. It says, now in the 12th month, that is the month of Adar, on the 13th day of the same, when the king's commandment and his decree drew near to be put to execution, in the day that the enemies of the Jews hoped to have power over them, all right, though it was turned to the contrary, that the Jews had rule over them that hated them, okay, due to the what? The decree that came from the king's from the king over the provinces. All right, it says the Jews gathered themselves together in their cities throughout all the provinces of the king Ahasuerus to lay hand on such as sought their hurt, and no man could withstand them, for the fear of them fell upon all people. So this is why they became Jews. So you anti-Christians need to get it right. Well, you ain't gonna get it right. You just gonna try to keep trying to make a crevice in a crack in a hole for you heathen to sneak up in and try to be partakers of the promise that was given to our forefathers, and it ain't gonna happen. All right. Verse 3. And all the rulers of the provinces and the lieutenants and the deputies and officers of the king helped the Jews. All right. So there was favor shown unto the Israelites through the decree that was written by Mordecai in the name of King Ahasuerus, all right, to all the provinces. So all the rulers of those provinces, the lieutenants and the deputies, all right, that's like going to, let's say a decree went forth from the president of the United States, and he put out a executive order that all so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, all right, who are in the 50 states of the United States of good old America, all right, they have the right to defend themselves from the power of any people that's trying to hurt them. And the law enforcement of the provinces that they're in, the cities that they're in, the captain of the law enforcement, they are to help the Jews or to help the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans throughout all the 50 states. All right? That's what that's likened to. Okay? So verse 3 again, and all the rulers of the provinces and the lieutenants and the deputies and the officers of the king helped the Jews because the fear of Mordecai fell upon them. All right? Because Mordecai was risen up to basically second in command under King Ahasuerus. All right? For Mordecai was great in the king's house, and his fame went throughout all the provinces. For this man Mordecai waxed greater and greater. Thus the Jews smote all their enemies with the stroke of the sword, and slaughter, and destruction, and did what they would unto those that hated them. So when the power was given to the Israelites to do what we had to do, of course you're gonna have people that become like us. You know what I'm saying? What you think when you read about Judith? I mean not Judith, I'm sorry, Ruth. She said, your God will be my God and my people will be your people. All right? That's what the people did, man. All right? Because they didn't want to feel that wrath. So what you think gonna happen when Yahweh Shem Yahushua give his men power to take over the planet Earth? The people gonna bow out. Those that don't, they're gonna get laid down. All right? As it is written, when Yahushua said, they that would not have me rule over them bring hither and slay before me. So this is likened to the matter. So you gonna get down or you gonna lay down. And that's what the people did in all 27 provinces. Because of the fear of the Jews, all right, they became as Jews. All right? Started being nice to us, you know. We're gonna observe the days your holy days, and you know, we're gonna go about your laws. Because power and favor was shown to us from the king. All right? Through the acts of Mordecai and Esther. That's what that means. It don't mean that they became Jews, all right, and they got access to salvation through our Lord and Savior Yahushua. No, it doesn't mean that. All right? It means they laid down. All right? Now, let's go to the book of Psalms, the 18th chapter, because King David said something to this matter as well, in this manner as well. When you read this whole chapter, this is him giving praise to Yahweh Shem Yahushua for giving him deliverance. All right? We're going to go straight to the point. Psalms, the 18th chapter, and I start at 40. The key point is the 43rd verse. It says, thou hast also given me the necks of mine enemies, that I might destroy them that hate me. Remember, those people in the book of Esther, they were enemies to the Jews at first. All right? Because they had the upper hand through Haman and his wicked decree that he had sent out. Okay? But when the king got word, all right, and Mordecai literally saved his life, that power was reversed. All right, and Haman was hanged on them gallows, and the decree that he went out, that he sent out to slaughter the Jews, was on the contrary, as the scripture said, and it reversed on all them people that was our enemy. All right, and a lot of them bowed out and said, "Look, we'll be as y'all, man. Just don't kill us." All right, verse 41. I'm gonna read 40 again. Salakia. Thou hast also given me the necks of mine enemies, that I might destroy them that hate me. They cried, but there was none to save them. All right? Even unto the Lord, but he answered them not. All right? The enemies. All right? The other nations, the heathen. Then did I beat them small as the dust before the wind, and I did cast them out as the dirt in the streets. This is the point. Thou hast delivered me from the strivings of the people, and thou hast made me the head of the heathen. Is that not what happened in the book of Esther. All right. Mordecai was made the head of the heathen. All right. Same with King David is saying right here. A people whom I have not known shall serve me. And that's what happened in when that anti-Christian tried to use the Esther 8 and 17 to try to say that any nation can become a Jew. No, you can't become a Jew, but you can serve us. You can be a slave to us. All right? And that's what happened. All right? It wasn't no, oh yeah, come on, you converted this. No. Fear came upon them, so they did what the hell we said. All right? Because of the favor that was shown unto us, first from on high, through the king of our captivity, which was Ahasuerus. All right? And through the man the Most High was dealing with at that time to be ruler while we were in the captivity of the Medo-Persian Empire. Mordecai, man. All right? So we had the favor, and all them people served us. Go back and read it. Maybe I'm making that story up. So once again, you anti-messiahs, you lose. All right? You lose because you have no understanding of what the Holy Scriptures is talking about. Lord will, this was edifying to the hopeful elect, giving all praise to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, and we on to the next video. Shalom.